Time now for your forewarned weather with Cedric Haynes.
Happy Monday, Utah. Let's get you out the door with a look at your forecast here as we go throughout a new work week here. We're going to begin the week with those critical fire concerns. We told you about this last week, and we see that increasing. And sure enough, today is going to be a day that we're really going to be concerned and watching closely, especially across central and southern portions of the state for that potential. So be aware of that. Try to avoid any outside burning if you can as we go throughout today. Otherwise, of course, we're in the middle of a heat wave, and that heat will continue as we go throughout this week with a couple of little dips in the temperatures. But overall, the hottest temperatures of the year are going to be possible here by the time we get towards the end of the work week. So if you thought it's been hot, you'd be correct, but it's going to get hotter before it gets a little cooler around here. But that's the good news. There are some signs of some cooler temperatures possible just in time for this upcoming weekend. More on that in just a moment. But first, let's get you out the door right now with your temperatures. 50 in Logan, 50 in Heber. We've got 60 in Price, 72 Emory, and 72 degrees to kick off the morning in St. George. So look at the weather map. Big dome of high pressure, the big blue H, keeping most of the storm systems going up and around us. There's one little sneaky one. It's a very weak system, but it could graze northern Utah with a few extra clouds and potentially squeeze out a sprinkle this afternoon. But the big story, no doubt about it, will be the heat today. How about 102 in Moab, 98 degrees in Delta, 95 in Vernal, about 90 expected in Cache Valley, and there you see that 106 expected towards St. George today. But as I mentioned, the main concern for today, besides the heat, is going to be that critical fire danger. We've got gusty winds out of the southwest. We're going to have some dry vegetation out there, very dry vegetation. And of course, we're going to add to that some humidity as low as 5% today. You combine that with the hot temperatures, that is ripe for fires that start to spread rapidly. And that's why we have this red flag warning that's in effect here for the Uintas, eastern Utah, down along and south of I-70 for that concern as we go throughout today. Now, we've got high pressure. We've got hot temperatures today. It will back off briefly as we go into our Tuesday, so slightly cooler temperatures for our Tuesday, but then it returns and expands Wednesday into Thursday. So that's going to mean potentially the hottest temperatures we've seen so far, especially by the time we get towards your Thursday. But the pattern begins to shift. Look at that high pressure ridge shifting over towards the east coast, a low pressure trough on the west coast, and yeah, that could spell some much cooler temperatures by the end of the upcoming weekend. So you can see the overall pattern for the next 6 to 10 days, above average temperatures all across the east, but out west, including the Beehive State, how about some below average temperatures returning to the area? Now, the problem with that, it's also going to be drier than average, so no relief in terms of any rainfall to help with the fire danger, but boy, we will cool it down. St. George, 106 elevated fire danger for us today. We cool it down to 102 tomorrow, but back up to, look at that, 108 by Juneteenth. Summer arrives officially on Friday, 105, but look at that, by Sunday, highs only in the mid-90s. The Wasatch Front, 93, breezy, mix of clouds and sunshine today. We cool it to 88 for your Tuesday, but look at Juneteenth. Could have our first 100-degree day in Salt Lake City. If not then, maybe on Friday, the first official day of summer. But look at those 70s in the forecast by the end of next weekend.